Players are lined up in the pool, and we're going to get going with Canoe Polo men's right about now. And we are going, it looks like Alaska Simpson for York and Chris Tighe for Lancaster headed to the middle, and Lancaster comes out with possession. Martin Paley passes to Dan Lamb, and you'll have to excuse David and I because we're just a bit new with Canoe Polo and also with the names that we have in front of us. But we're going to try to be your eyes and ears today as we go and provide some analysis along the way. Lancaster's Ben Scourfield, affectionately known as Ben Scourfeast for the Lancastrians, has a shot high on goal and doesn't seem to make it. Keelan Forbes takes the ball down the pitch for York, but it's intercepted by number 6, Ben Scourfield, once again, and Scourfield's trying to gain possession of the ball but doesn't succeed. Keelan Forbes gains possession for York. And we're going to switch fields and go to Max Hill on the left side of the pitch for York. Passing forward, fighting hard. Keelan Forbes once again gains possession in the front field for York. Chris Tighe for Lancaster attempts to fight for it, but once again intercepted by York's Keelan Forbes. Keelan Forbes seems to be a dominant force for York. So, David, you said you don't have much experience with Canoe Polo. Is this your first match?
I've seen bits of it before, but I've never sat through a full match. And what I'm struck by is the amount of core strength these guys are going to need to keep themselves both afloat and also catch the ball and throw the ball as well. It's very impressive, the stamina they have as well. And we heard beforehand that they're all dual athletes, so that's also very impressive as well.
I would say that is quite impressive. Maybe in between matches they're going to let us out there. What do you think?
I'd love to have a go. Yeah, I'm not sure how good I'd be.
I think it would be fun to have a go. It would be quite interesting, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. I think I'd have more trouble rowing the boat than getting the ball. I think that would be my main issue.
I think I would just drop the paddle at some point and start using my arms.
Yeah, do it
just
swimming
pull
style,
myself through. Yeah. And one boat is capsized at the moment. That's an interesting moment there.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. It seems like it'd be just a bit scary, but, you know. Lancaster's Martin Paley once again with a shot, but doesn't quite get it in.
He recovered very well there, the York player, as well, to flip himself back round after he'd capsized.
Yes, I think I'd panic a little bit, but I'm sure these great athletic players of theirs have capsized many a times, and it's just another day in the pool for them.
Absolutely.
Lancaster seems to be doing, in my opinion, what could be called a full court press or a full pitch press in some sense. And Chris Tighe for Lancaster has possession, passing it all the way back to Ben Scourfield. And back to Chris Tighe on the right side of the pitch. And Chris Tighe takes a shot, but right off the post. And doesn't seem to find the back of the net. And possession goes to York.
Good shot there. You have to imagine the paddle is only so high, so if you can get it to a certain height, it's going to be a guaranteed goal. So you need to perfect that skill of getting it just to the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, this sport seems to be a mixture of a little bit of basketball, a little bit of baseball, a little bit of football, a little bit of water polo, and some kayaking skills.
Yeah.
So it really seems like, I would think from everything from your waist up is being used as far as muscle goes. So I'm sure this sport takes a lot of endurance.
Yeah, there's no designated keeper either, so it's a matter of who comes back first as well. So you've got to have that one player that can swim and swim and swim and keep going and has the most stamina. As you can see, we've got number 1 and number 5 here just sitting back for York, protecting their defence as they attack.
Yes, and I would think that it takes a lot of communication effort to try their best and make sure somebody's always back. And I would think, I'm not sure, but I would say they probably have some sort of play organization where they're calling plays and trying to find it. And Lancaster does once again. Ben Scourfield makes an attempt at a shot, but it's blocked by York's number 6, Harvey Twix Rudd.
Scourfield's been a big threat for Lancaster so far. He looks like their star man at the beginning of this match.
I would agree with that. He's been quite the dominant force, making several shots on goal. Once again, a shot by Lancaster's Chris Tighe, but just a bit low there once again. York now taking the offensive charge. Fighting for possession there in the middle of the pitch. Dan Lamb and York's Alex Hall-Smith. Lancaster comes out on top with it, though.
Lamb was nearly pushed over there. He did very well to keep himself upright.
I was a bit surprised by that. A little pushing. I like it. It's a bit physical, a bit aggressive. Makes me happy to see, as you know, the true American I am. And once again, a shot on goal by Lancaster's number 7, Jamie Hall this time, but blocked by York's number 5, Alex Hall-Smith, with his paddle. I find it quite funny, these paddles. All they're doing, Alex Hall-Smith, it seems like the best you can do is just swing your paddle right in front of the goal and hope for the best.
You've got to do very well is not to drop it as well, because the amount of force they throw the ball at.
Yes.
I think I'd drop it.
I think, and also like a hard hit to the paddle seems like it sting a little bit, so it's a bit of a rough game here. I'm liking it. And I must admit, it's also very hot in here, so for them, I'm sure it's a bit warm, but it's probably nice to have that water to cool them off a bit, I would say.
I'm going to request that we can all jump in afterwards.
I think a nice big pool party would be good. I wanted to do, I don't think it's quite possible. Maybe you and I can try to convince somebody to do a pool interview with somebody. I don't know if they'd let us. Maybe put us in kayaks and do a quick interview.
It might take me a while to get over to them, though.
You know, we'll just do it right on the side. I think that'd be the safest way.
Yeah.
Lancaster once again with the offensive attack. Chris Tighe in the backfield for him, passing to number 2, Dan Lamb. Dan Lamb with a shot, but once again blocked by Alex Hall-Smith, who seems to be quite the dominant force at the goal for York. York's possession once again.
It's goalless so far, but Lancaster have been all over York. It's been theirs so far, and they look like the favourites as we're reaching near the halfway point here.
I would agree with that. And York's number 7, Kit Fletcher, is going to enter the match for York. Lancaster's possession going to number 6, Ben Scourfield. Ben Scourfield's going to take it up, and he's going to take a shot, and Ben Scourfield with the goal.
It's that man Scourfield. We mentioned him that he was the danger man, and he just wasn't marked there on the halfway point, and it was a great shot into the top of the goal.
No, it truly was a great shot. He took a moment, looked around, noticed there was a wide open net, and decided, let's take the shot, and he did, and it paid off for Lancaster. Now it's 1-0 Lancaster. York now takes the offensive attack. York's Alex Hall-Smith, York's Alaska Simpson going forward, passing it back to Alex Hall-Smith in the backfield to reorganize. Back up to Max Hill on the right side of the pitch, and now to Alaska Simpson. Alaska Simpson takes the shot, but doesn't quite get it, hitting the post, and also Lancaster's Dan Lamb's paddle. Dan Lamb passes forward to Lancaster's Chris Tighe. Chris Tighe and Alex Hall-Smith charge at each other. Hall-Smith is capsized, but comes back forward, and the ball seems to go to York for possession.
Interesting that's not called as a foul, because that was a direct push. We could see it was just in front of us. He pushed him to get towards the ball.
Yes, and as you say, he pushed him. It was truly a direct attack, in my opinion. It was definitely a force to be reckoned with. And yes. And I guess I wish I knew the rules just a little better, because I can't quite figure out why the ball necessarily is going to York in that situation. Do you know why?
I'm not 100% sure. Possibly because of a foul.
It could be. Maybe we'll figure that out. And if we do, we'll be sure to let you all know. Now Lancaster once again takes the offensive attack, going to Martin Paley in the backfield on the right-hand side. Now to Lancaster's Chris Tighe in the middle, and to the left, switching fields quite well in my opinion. And Lancaster's Chris Tipuric takes the shot and once again scores on a beautiful roundabout frontal assault on York. York now takes possession of the ball, trying to find some sort of offense today, as it seems like they've mostly been on defense throughout this matchup. And I'm not quite sure. What do you think they need to change up here, David, to try to find some goals?
I think they're being beaten on the counter-attack a lot. Lancaster are a lot faster rowers. And as you saw there with that last goal, he found space that the York hadn't picked up. So if they're going to get back into this game, they need to take the most of the chances they get, York, because most of the possession is going with Lancaster.
I would agree. The counterattack seems to be something that Lancaster has mastered quite well. And they also are very quick on this pitch. And once again, Lancaster's Chris Tighe takes a shot and finds an open net, making it Lancaster 3, York 0.
York need to show a lot of character coming into these final few seconds here of this first period if they need to score a goal here. Otherwise, I think it's going to go all the way of Lancaster.
I would agree. This would be crucial in this first period to find at least just one goal to bring it down to that dangerous just 2 lead. And if that happens, I think York would have a chance come period 2 to come back. But a 3-0 lead going into the second period would be quite difficult.
Lancaster are just so much more efficient at winning the ball back, and they're going to be swimming straight down the other end of the pool, as we can see here now. They just seem to have more speed than York.
Yeah, we've gotten, I would say, somewhat quite lucky in the sense that we're able to see exactly what's going on. But on the other side of the pitch, maybe come term. Whoop. And that seems to be period. And we're going to take a 2-minute break for the players. So as we were saying, it seems that counterattack for Lancaster is quite dangerous. And hopefully York can find some way to find a faster counterattack, because if they don't, I don't think they're going to be able to pull ahead. Hopefully they can make some adjustments here come period 2 and find a way to get the ball in the back of the net. But right now they've really been forced up against their own goal, oftentimes playing hard defense, but just any defense, after being struck so many times, the ball's going to get through.
Yeah, you think Lancaster should be saying to themselves, more of the same again, guys, because they've been playing so well. They came out the stronger side, and they've shown their quality throughout the first period, whereas York, they're going to be saying they need to keep their heads up, not let their heads drop down, because if they do, you can see a rout here, and they don't want that. We want a fair game, and we want a competitive game as well.
I would agree with that. So we're going to take a quick 45 to a minute break here from commentary. Once again, we're coming to you live from the Lancaster Sports Center from LA1 TV and YSTV, along with Sheffield's Forge.
Can you see this? Yes, all right, but I think we're doing a good job of it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm on. Right, good points. Do the best I can.
And we're live once again from the Lancaster Sports Center, coming at you live with LA1 TV, Forge, and YSTV. We're going into period 2 for men's canoe polo, worth 4 points on the Roses weekend. But I just must point out, Roses are already red, with Lancaster claiming the weekend just last night after men's and women's darts. It has been quite the weekend. David, what do you think of the weekend so far, and how are you enjoying the Roses atmosphere?
It's been a great atmosphere. Both universities obviously wanted to win this coming into it. They give each other banter as well. You can always see that with any sort of inter-uni competition. But it's also been a great event for lots of sports that people might not normally watch, like canoe polo. And I think that gives the sports a lot of promotion, and I think that's a very important thing to open your mind at university.
I would definitely agree. I think one thing that I've noticed, and the biggest difference between sports in the United States from where I am and here, is that they're just not as big any time other than Roses Weekend. So to see Roses Weekend and see all the students definitely coming out, supporting each other, cheering for each other, and watching each other as they compete in some of these various sports, it's been definitely a pleasure to see all of that, and also to be exposed to all these different sports. That was Lancaster's number 6, Ben Scourfield, once again on an open goal, bringing that score. Lancaster 4, York 0. So throughout the weekend, I think students have been exposed, as you said, to these new sports such as canoe polo, and also, you know, things that I didn't even think were something that would be offered. For example, pole fitness is something that I watched yesterday, and also it's exciting to see some of those lighter sports, for example, darts, and also chess and mooting and different sorts of debate are brought into this. So it's really exciting. There truly is something for everybody when it comes to Roses Weekend, and for us media people as well. It provides quite the excitement.
There was one I saw on the list. I didn't get to watch it. Pokemon apparently was
Yeah.
one of the events. I wish I could have seen that. I wonder how that works.
Were you into Pokemon, or are you still into Pokemon nowadays?
Not so much now. There was a sort of brief period of Pokemon Go where it was popular for a couple of months, but it's kind of died out again now. But it's always going to have that niche culture.
I think you're correct in that. I always find those one friends in my life that are just die-hard Pokemon fans. And, you know, from any age, I really had no interest in Pokemon, but God love those sorts of people who seem to think it is, you know, the second coming of Jesus, or better than sliced bread in some cases. York now takes the offensive attack, coming from the left-hand side. York's Alaska Simpson coming, and tries to make a pass to York's Keelan Forbes, but seems to be blocked by Ben Scourfield on the left-hand side of the pitch. York once again has possession on the left-hand side, midfield, with Alaska Simpson.
There by Scourfield, you can see he's doing it again. He's just trying to block any move York make, and Lancaster are going to be able to go on the counter-attack now. Scourfield has had a magnificent game for Lancaster.
Yeah, as you pointed out earlier, Scourfield definitely seems to be that dominant force and has not let up at all. If anything, he keeps being dominant and gets more dominant as this match goes on.
They call him the Scour Feast. He's really living up to that nickname.
I would agree with that. When his coach told me that, Coach Matt Carter, I thought that was a bit funny. But, you know, as anybody goes throughout a sport, they gain a reputation, and they definitely, probably, I would assume, start to have a brotherhood as the season goes on and really enjoy playing with each other and have those playful names. So once again, Lancaster's attacking on the right-hand side. Martin Paley passes to Lancaster's Martin Paley to Chris Tighe of Lancaster. Chris Tighe. But York gains possession on that, I believe.
Yeah, it's gone to York.
It has gone to York. I wish I knew why.
I think maybe there's been a turnover of possession of some sort.
We're told it was obstruction because they touched the keeper. Thank goodness we have. I believe you're from York, yes? Thank you so much for your help. We're trying our best here.
You can see here York, they haven't really had many clear-cut chances on goal here so far. And a timeout has been called. We're going to wait a few minutes here for play to begin again. But York need to get some points on the boards. Otherwise, it's going to go all the way of Lancaster here in the final few minutes of this second period.
And I've just been informed by, once again, our favorite York and the analyst right here in the front row that after that timeout was called, we also had a green card on Lancaster. 3 green cards mean a yellow card, and then after which that yellow card occurs, there's time off. And I believe, did you see who scored that goal?
It was number 5.
Number 5 for Lancaster, Leon Seefeld. The score now 5-0 in favor of Lancaster. Now York takes the offensive charge, trying to gain any ground they can. Keelan Forbes taking the attack, but between Keelan and Harvey Twix Rudd, they seem to have lost possession now. Dan Lamb of Lancaster with possession, passing forward to Lancaster's Chris Tipuric. Chris Tipuric takes a shot, but it's a bit low and blocked by York's Alex Hall-Smith, but Lancaster once again gains possession. Lancaster's now Chris Tipuric passing back to Chris Tighe. Chris Tighe trying to slow the game down a bit to gain organization for Lancaster.
York are really just playing for pride now. You feel at 5-0 the game's kind of gone. There could be an off chance that maybe they could come back, but it's going to need a big turnaround here. They're going to need to win the ball back because Lancaster are just sitting deep, holding on to possession, and they're going to take another shot here. It's number 7, and that is another goal for Lancaster, I believe it is now. Oh no, the goal, I don't think it's been called. Yeah, it has been called. It's 6-0 now to Lancaster. It was Marshall that got that goal for them.
All right, now I could not get the names correct, people. I'm very sorry about that. But now York takes the offensive attack in the backfield, trying to find some organization. Alaska Simpson passes to Keelan Forbes. Keelan's trying to gain possession, but Lancaster's Chris Tipuric comes out of nowhere, takes possession. But we're fighting in the midfield now. Chris Tighe gains possession once again. He's going to maybe make an attempt. And Chris Tighe with one more goal and gets it past their keeper, Alex Hall-Smith, bringing that score 7-0 with 3:40 left in this match.
York's formation was all over the place there. They had 3 players on the far left-hand side of the pool, none of them seemingly doing much. And then there was only 1 in goal and 1 on the right-hand side, allowing the players to just be completely unmarked. And that's been the case for the last sort of 2 or 3 goals. York are just switching off their heads. Their confidence is gone. They just got very unlucky there with the ball hitting them on the head. And I think Lancaster could get up to 10 here in the final few minutes.
Yeah, I think what I've seen from Lancaster's, they definitely have a spread offense that allows them to see the entire pitch and letting them not, go into that bee's nest formation, if you will, as they go down the pitch. And it's allowing them to really move the ball quite well from side to side and get out of where York is finding their strong defense. Now York with that offense here. Passing back, trying to once again find some organization. Alex Hall-Smith in the backfield, passing now further back to Harvey Twix Rudd. Twix Rudd now to Simpson. Simpson on the right-hand side trying to keep possession as Lancaster's Chris Tighe tries to take it. Chris Tighe putting the heat on and seems to block it, but it's going to go towards York once again. Some sort of foul called.
Yeah, it's a foul if the player's not holding onto the ball, so that's why I believe the foul was called. It's just like water polo. Any contact is allowed unless you let go of the ball.
Wonderful. Good thing we have that water polo background from David helping us out as we go through this wonderful sport. Alaska Simpson tries to take a shot, but Lancaster's Leon Seefeld blocks it with his paddle high in the air. Now Lancaster's doing that fast counterattack once again, passing forward, but it's intercepted by Alex Hall-Smith right in front of the goal. Lancaster's Chris Tipuric is going to try to gain possession once again, fighting with Max Hill of York, but Tipuric is going to seem to come out on top. Martin Paley now passes back to Chris Tighe in the backfield to once again maybe just kill some time, kind of keep possession and see what happens. But Chris Tighe does take one shot. It's far right, I believe. It indeed is, and they're going to call a timeout.
Yeah, Lancaster don't really need too many more goals here. They can just sit and enjoy what remains of the game. They're keeping ball, playing it deep, playing it from side to side. They want to save their energy as well. You know, they don't need to exert themselves anymore when they're winning 7-0, whereas York, they need to keep their formation. Like I've already said, they need to make sure their heads don't go down. We can already see they've called this timeout probably just to regain their composure and keep this score at 7-0 and not making it 8, 9, 10-0.
Yes, it seems that Chris Tighe of Lancaster received a green card by the official. Once again, that's just a warning. 3 of those are going to equal a yellow card, and then, of course, after so many, would result in time off. York now has possession, trying to go forward, trying to just get one goal in the net, working hard to just make any attempt, but Lancaster has a lockdown defense, and they regain control. And now with that fast counterattack, Lancaster's Chris Tighe passes quickly forward to Ben Scourfield and takes a shot, but it doesn't seem to find the back of the net.
Scourfield on a hat-trick here. I think he's possibly got 3 goals already. He's had a very good game, and he can be very happy with himself. He's been all over York. Every time he picks up that ball in that sort of final third, he's just been driving the ball into the net, and that's exactly what you need to do in canoe polo.
And we've got about 40 seconds left in this matchup. Once again, it's Lancaster 7, York 0. York is just trying to find the net just one time so we can get on the board for him. York now with possession in the corner there. Alaska Simpson passes forward to Keelan Forbes. Keelan Forbes trying to keep possession, tries to pass forward to Harvey Twix Rudd, but doesn't seem to find Twix Rudd. Lancaster once again takes possession with 15 seconds to go. It's probably going to end with Lancaster having possession. Lancaster going up the right-hand side. Ben Scourfield passes to Martin Paley. Paley takes a shot, but doesn't seem to find the net as York's Alex Hall-Smith blocks it. And that does seem to be the end of the match. The final score right here from Lancaster Sports Center is 7-0. Well, David, it was quite an exciting game of canoe polo, I have to say, for the first matchup. It seemed to be a bit one-sided. Hopefully, I'm told that the women's game is going to be just a bit better, and they're a bit confident, I must say. I was talking to Abby before the game of York's canoe polo for the women, and she seemed to have some fighting words.
Yeah, but this game was also very even to start with. In the first period, it was probably 0-0 up until 5 minutes to go, and then York, something just switched. Lancaster showed that they had more quality. But building into the women's game, they say that they trained several times in the river in the freezing cold, so that possibly means they're going to have the equal steel to show the determination, because after watching that performance, they're going to want to do a little bit better for their university.
Most definitely. And I will say one thing that I'm observing right now, and what I love to see between a nice heated rivalry, is all the players were just chit-chatting with each other, telling each other what a great game, or I would hope telling each other that it was such a great game. Who knows what they're whispering to each other out there in the pool, but it sure did seem to be quite the friendly rivalry, and what a great game. Once again, that final score, Lancaster 7, York 0. For LA1 TV and YSTV, along with Sheffield's Forge, we'll be right back.